defied community expectations. In Juicy's words, defied their own expectations. Sufat saying that he fears nothing, not even elimination. They've made it this far, and now how far can they even push it from here?
And we talked about how Juicy ascended with that bleed team. It was against Jemkin's Scars team back in 2023. Crazy Guy was on that roster with Juicy. And of course, Juicy was too young to play at the top level. And Crazy Guy had to find his own way back through challenges as well. And they meet here for the first time since that fateful match.
And now we are seeing Wolves with the same composition that they had a lot of success with against Billy, blowing them out 13-5. Starting on the attack side where, despite running double Senti, that was where they were racking up the majority of their rounds. They went on a serious run.
RRQ had a 67% attack side win rate on Ascent. It's crazy to me that Wolves have picked this map against them. Utter confidence from them. Jemkin, not the way he was looking to start on the international stage. Sufat's arguably more acclimated. And confidently he's taken that mid control.
Pop flash from it's his A site, anchored by multiple players.
Spike down A.
Talk about stopping power. Crazy Guy hits him like a Mack truck. Why are you going to start to inch forward now? So over you two to try and light the sight, but Mon yet springs out there from Jen. Why are you able to deliver? Allows Juicy to move right on up. Clear that dart. Why you was revealed. Shot dart could account for him here, and bam! That's a connection from Cushy. Drops down for a second. The Wolves will get the start they hope for on the attack side. Oh, buddy.
Already feeling excited. This Wolves team have been energetic. They said they want to keep that underdog mentality that has gotten them this far, continue to play loose, confident, and just having fun. It looks like they've been enjoying themselves this whole time. Sufa has been out of his seat constantly. Frankly, individually, has been one of the players stepping up the most too, while being the IGL.
He's issuing a challenge specifically to Jemkin there. And that encounter favored Wolves in mid. This is a change for RRQ. In the past, we've obviously seen him with the Yoru compositions here. It's definitely Jemkin's most fearsome agent, but no slouch on the Jet either.
This is the first time that we're seeing RRQ forced to stray away from the Taeho meta. In the run that they were on in Pacific, they were simply the best team with that Taeho meta style. They weren't reinventing the wheel, they were just the best with the current best agents. Forced to pivot away now, obviously, like the other teams who were very reliant on it. G2, Sen, for example. And we'll see if they can have that same prowess as a team, as a unit. Now going back to the vintage comp, the Ascent Classic.
RRQ, they spent some util early to get Xfero set up in mid, but he will be cleared by that Aldro now. Contact from B-main. Xfero has to tuck here in logs. Unaffected as well by that, grab net, but YU's able to deal with him. Even through that Cyber Cage, and on to the site we go. Switch room taking control. Now that push-up Speedway is going to reveal Jemkin tucked in the corner. Hang about. Okay, something's brewing. Spring able to deal with Monyet, and it's on Crazy Guy. Nothing but a classic fragment. And has himself a flash to work with, but Spring has the better weapon. A little shaky there for Wolves, but they do complete the anti-eco.
RRQ will definitely be content with the damage that they were able to deal there off that gamble stack towards the B side. Unfortunately, no real hope for Crazy Guy at the end. Can't get anywhere to recover a rifle, just a classic pushing in versus the two. A little unfortunate for him.
Down B.
Players on site.
Enemy remaining.
Fine job dealing some damage, keeping this bonus round bye for Wolves a bit lower than intended.
Here come RRQ now with their first bye of the series. Revealed briefly as they try and make their way up to Covey.
Recon sent out just to clear back Wine.
There's an encounter brewing here. Jemkin and Juicy! Oh, buddy, that is clean as a whistle.
And it's moments like that to give you an idea as to how Jemkin was able to rack up 137 first kills, far and away the leader in that category.
Yep, number two in first kills in Pacific was at 85.
YU though, crucial kill on the opposite side of the map, gets the neural theft off as well. They may just want to accelerate into this site. It's only Xfero to anchor in the back. They can overwhelm him with numbers.
He's in an awkward spot, caught the grab, man, it was pulling it off him. Clearly not ready for that burst of pace from Wolves. That's going to crack the B side open. Monyet forced off to the right. Spring tries to hold him in place as Paranoia comes in.
Spring not going to overplay his hand either, just stay alive, be a presence in market that will eventually need to be dealt with. Jumpkin wants to do just that, isolate this door, it's tucked to the corner, shot in the back!
Massively exposed, and where was the trade? RRQ was set up there over towards defense side, spawned adequately. And Jemkin shows his back to YU is more than happy to capitalize. He's at 8-2 after 3 rounds.
Those post-plant repositions from Wolves were simply lovely. I love that Spring, despite not being able to collect that initial kill towards spawn, does just back off, be a nuisance that needed to be dealt with, and then YU is able to get up on lane, use him as a piece of bait to just get that free kill in the side, and then the swings come from stairs, those retaking players overwhelmed, bonus round converted.
Our narrative for this Wolves team coming into this event was one of volatility, one of unexpected play. But John QT in a press conference says after all the Chinese team Sentinels played, Wolves were by far the most structured and disciplined that they'd encountered.
And that statement really does justice to the improvements that Wolves have made since we last saw them in a run to qualifying for the event, coming in as that 3rd seed. Slowing things down now on this anti-eco. YU would love to take some B-main control again. Camera broken. Continuing to apply a bit of pressure. So Gatecrash going all the way up towards mid and a dark cover towards market. So Wolves, you can see that they're trying to feign some presence toward mid and it's drawing rotates away from RRQ. They're now getting into this site completely for free. Monyet was somewhat positioned to try and maybe go for a kill, but now forced onto the retake. Bad weapons are RRQ.
It's easy to force those over-rotates on rounds like this, Wyatt, where the defenders are desperate to try and set up a favorable stack. Doesn't take too much to tempt them to move across the map. Wolves, again, an excellent job in the early rounds. We've seen this over their games so far of clearing that util, the push and pull, trying to outmaneuver the defenders. RRQ have gotten into the side at least. Pushing in that Gen direction now. Jemkin already out of the picture, and Juicy from Hell is going to emerge like Cerberus. That will be cleaned up pretty comfortably. 4 rounds to the favor of Wolves here. RRQ yet to show us anything really worth hanging your hat on.
I feel like so far you can't help but draw a comparison to the match that we saw yesterday with the XLG debut. Missing out on being able to play in the Swiss stage, getting multiple games of practice in. Wolves heating up throughout, the players getting comfortable on the stage, getting their confidence on the stage. And you have this debuting team with massive expectations coming in as the 1st seed from their region. Thinking too about wanting to up the tempo, the pace as the tournament has gone on. Now, out of this timeout though for RRQ, I was hoping to see them pick up an operator. That's Jemkin, the Jet, with that weapon in his hands, taking a peek from Catwalk, wants to aim down tiles, where perhaps YU would give him an opportunity. But on these rounds, Cypher has been more content just trying to work B-main solo.
Spring is entrenched here in this wine position, whereas the rest of Wolves are maybe going to rattle the cage here at B, hoping for a push-up from the defenders, but RRQ have not conditioned that behavior yet.
Wolves do have any intention here of going towards mid. Oh wow, engagement on. Yeah, just isolates Spring.
There was a 0 point that revealed the Omen stuck in the corner. There was no escape for him, no paranoia either.
It's a critical 1st kill. RRQ weren't able to convert on the last round where they had a 1st kill, but they're going to need to do it here with this maxed out investment they have into the round.
Juicy sees it all here on the B side, opts to stick it and fight inside of it because he wants to push up and get the drop on him, and eventually the double face from RRQ will derail things. A second Lysor picked up, Jemkin's off, finally starts to sing, and here's the RRQ we've all been told about.
Wolves getting very disconnected on that B side. Execute and lacking Spring. The players from RRQ just take easy engagements, swinging from spawn together. There's no dark cover for that obvious angle. So Juicy is just relegated to fighting an incredibly difficult 1 versus 2 on site while the rest of the players are bogged down in the choke. Really would have required some serious heroics from Juicy to be able to pull that out.
I must wait a moment.
Better look there for RRQ, get the full buy they were hoping for, and they employ it effectively. Crazy Guy's been doing that. Early thrusts onto Catwalk with a classic in his hands.
Cover going out.
On this round, Jumkin has opted to post up with this operator towards A main. Has an idea that there could be someone going for the jump up. Just the angle. Timing is brutal.
Spring in these early encounters has been so impactful against the star player of the opponent. He had seconds number on that split game as well.
Listen, Mondet has serious confidence. RRQ have taken full control of B main with 2 players. Wolves want to get into the site now, lacking the smokes, taking the opportunities they can. Snoop back, getting pressure.
Bad, dangerous. Oh, we got it. One. Can't be upset about that. Lysol, though, this is a little belated. RRQ hear that Annihilation coming. They basically clear the area. There's a catch on Kushi. That would be quite something. He does show himself. Monyet, though, has his line. Juicy swings into more players than he expects, and this Crazy Guy ready to lock it down on the big side.
Respect to Monyet for the confidence of taking that fight in B main to trade out for Jemkin, who did get a little bit unlucky, but was exposing himself to multiple angles, so taking some amount of risk there. But then RRQ, the really pivotal moment for me, the great decision was to get both of their B anchors into B main, recognizing the split was coming through, so they want to isolate a fight in main. They're able to do so, find the kill there. By the time the split is actually coming in, they could have just escaped, go play around the spike. That was really well done. Wolves, economy cracked, and now on the eco. Opportunity for RRQ to build their own. And multiple players are already at that 5K mark.
Once again, it's that same wander up Catwalk by Juicy. But he might look to ask for more! That's unfortunate, Crazy Guy. Pockets the only an inopportune moment, but Koshi doubles down. That is ferocious. From spawn, Hunter's Fury yields 2 kills. And RRQ have absolutely stabilized this round after losing Crazy Guy early.
Absolutely stunning. All last 2 players inevitably going to get cleaned up here. Spring stuck in main. That was a pretty sick util combo from Wolves to get the initial kill on Crazy Guy. And Kushi recovers it with a beautiful Hunter's Fury. There's that Gravnet pop flash with the Yoru. It was pretty cool, but ultimately all for naught. No significant economic damage done to RRQ here.
30 seconds left.
That 0-point timing for Crazy Guy is going to be pretty important. Worried about facing down at util. Spring gets a little bit more than we all bargained for there. But it's still a 3rd round in a row for RRQ. They have been awoken.
Spring will take it. I will say, obviously what we've seen from Spring so far in this tournament, incredible aim, willingness to take a ton of duels. We've had a couple situations now where his play towards B main has overextended himself and he's left his team without smokes when they're going for these executes. It's been awkward. That's happened on 2.
Only had the 1 round with the Op was able to convert its use pretty effectively, but outside of that, yet to quite take over the game.
Does have the op again, this time posted up mid, has been switching things up round by round, but the dark cover will not allow him to get any free shots as Wolves want to silently work their way forward. Drone's going to be used just in case he is posted up by mid, which obviously we know is the case.
Jemkin spotted here. It's a little bit difficult to play into that Owl drone. He does allow himself to get pinged out. This will give some of that mid space now over to Wolves, and they choose to canvas it with this deadlock util unless there's a push in their direction.
So we're going to bring 1 sonic sensor back, and the deadlock will thrive with the utility after you've taken the site, get the spike down. You really don't want to allow Wolves to set up for a post plant. It gets so frustrating to get back in.
The barrier mesh is so
break
powerful.
Break that barrier mesh, the delay that causes. You don't want to run into the sonic sensors in chaotic moments trying to get back in.
Back soon.
There was a 0-point time in there from RRQ to B main. It sees nothing.
Here.
Of course, the spawning is going to have to be smoked off. Likely Jemkin is there, and he is split coming into sight. Monyet is fully committed right now on the stairs. Juicy wants to take the action to him.
Minus Fury time now. Sufat's going to let that one rip, but there's actually no one on the B side itself. All of RRQ are basically playing off of it in their entirety, and Crazy Guy got brought down.
Tough to res Monyet, who teleported away to safety, is actually able to bring Crazy Guy back up. 12 seconds. Spike needs to be planted right now. Still isn't being tapped. Finally, from Sufat. RRQ ready to go for this man advantage. Retake pop flash over the top. Jemkin has the Blade Storm out. Ready to get active, ready to create space.
Gonna go on with the Owl drone as well. That sees nothing on Speedway. Jemkin needs to deal with these entrenched anchor players. But Juicy handles him. Monyet starting to make some progress here, but Xferro and Crazy Guy are dealt with on the B side. Now it's just a Speedway presence for RRQ. Monyet and Cushy. First three, and they are cut down mercilessly. RRQ are the ones with a 67% attack side win rate on this map. They're the ones that flip the map, but Wolves are showing they can do it just as well.
YU coming up really juicy. That initial kill, this peak right there from Jemkin. He had the crosshair placed where it needed to be. The reaction from one of the best duelists we've had performing in this tournament so far in Juicy was way too sick. Cleans up a couple more after the fact. Wolves out of the timeout, get the round win. That is something we've seen many times when Coach Fade gets in the mix.
Good call from Monyet there to make the TP up. Revealed inside that grav net. It would have been curtains for him quickly. Jemkin needs this. Good start for the team, and YU's head is gripped clean off.
Certainly has no lack of confidence, Jemkin, even after the disaster of last round on the retake. He will not slow down. He's not going to ease up. Wolves now on the pivot towards B main. Cushy has been playing very close on a lot of these rounds. He is jiggle peeking, does get the info. Drone, tag onto Sufat.
He will walk it away. On the 1 minute mark of the round, Jemkin still sat here in Covey.
Sufat droning up mid, hoping that that will draw some attention, get some information if someone is pushed down. Not the case. Dimensional drift and another 4 versus 5. We've seen this story before. It didn't work out on the prior. Juicy committing to the side, tripwire. Dangerously close.
Oh, buddy, they know he's coming. Gravnet, yeah, sure, gets used over towards Boathouse, but RRQ can recover.
30 seconds
There's
left.
a TP forward. You saw that from Spring, right at the edge of that smoke. Watched by 2, but his wrap angle is not covered adequately by Cushy. Xferro has to deal with it himself. Here comes a second wave now of retakers. Still no plant.
Monyet does have a paranoia to get back in. That's a significant piece of utility for RRQ. Both dark covers used. Jemkin wants to get in here. Exchanges, gets the rifle, throws the op to Monyet.
Paranoia, Spring sees it coming and still can't stop Crazy Guy. Sufat, no, Crazy Guy is low, and it's on Monyet. Oh, just swings the right, but Sufat unaware. Try to recon to light this one up. Sufat, the clutch that keeps the Wolves train running. What a Red Bull clutch. All comers from all angles, all too easy for Sufat.
He simply does it all for this team. We've seen him clutch. We've seen him top the boards in terms of kills in these games. He's IGLing. He's hyping them up. He's talking trash. He's questioning, what the hell are these guys doing? How are they letting me get away with that? RRQ forced onto an eco. Just a hero rifle for Jemkin.
And honestly, this scoreline is a disastrous tale for RRQ. On Ascent defense. Reminiscent of their same struggles against Genji on this very map. Jemkin is cut down to 5 in the first encounter.
Cushy even down to 28 off the spam. I'm sure Jemkin would love to throw that rifle over to a healthier player on the squad. B main control going to be acquired from Wolves on account of this drone. Now they want to push towards A as well. Monyet has been a menace in this area of the map. He's gotten some crucial kills, but with just the classic, you can't expect him to do that.
This could be ugly. Our drone re-clear of B main. Seems to allow Jemkin to post up a bit further forward and ask for more. Super eventually pinged out there, so does not want to linger.
Seeing the Sova there will certainly keep RRQ's attention towards B main, but now the execute is coming through. A barrier mesh recon going over the top. It's just a close-up crazy line dealt with by Juicy.
And even the side, safe to say, Wolves have again achieved their objective. Very structured in the early to mid round. Clearing that util, working the map. See, Sufat never overextended on the B side, and now we can assist with a late flank. And it's unlikely rather that he will be needed. Cushy was brought to 28 health by the spam at the start of the round, and he has seen no action since.
Wolves have been able to really frequently cycle back into these ultimates. Sufat, one away from the Hunter's Fury. Lysor on the verge of that annihilation as well when we get to the second last round of the half. Again, it is just, it's careful, it's patient from Wolves. They work the map, keep attention on B. Eventually when someone pushes out of main, Sufat is still covering that angle, finds a free isolated kill. The team are able to get into a very lightly held A site. This is excellent stuff from Wolves. And it is very reminiscent of their attack side against Billy with this comp. They found so much success there. And we started feeling a little bit worried on the side swap because they didn't actually really pop off on defense where you expect them to when they have Deadlock, Cypher, Yoru, and we're getting an off online. It's where this comp thrives.
One enemy remaining.
And as our RRQ team are struggling to deal with the pace of Wolves, Wolves are not splitting the map, they're not splitting these sites, they're actually just pushing straight through B main or A main, as was the case there. It's hard for them to get early action, the defenders, or catch any crosses.
We've seen Spring play this angle before.
That didn't work last time.
Jemkin Mon. So they want to clear. One-way cage being popped. B main controlled by Wolves. There's the annihilation for Lysor.
Again, we know Wolves like to make use of all that round time, and Spring is rewarded for his patience. Monyet just trundles up to check that A main. He's not ready for the angle. We probably won't see it again, but this time it works.
He's taken timings in main before, and they worked out, but haphazard in that situation to just extend himself in there. Spring in a cheeky off angle. This site is absolutely free for the taking. Here come Wolves. Annihilation pop, just in case someone is there, they would at the very least be on the run. YU, can he be caught?
He is well tucked. Xfero's knocking. Oh, finish! He had the knife in his hands! Oh, Jemkin at least
30 seconds.
can get involved. But RRQ are down to 3 now. Need to work their way in from upper. It's a fragment and then it's a grab there. Cushy caught in place.
Do they dare go for this 3-4? Look at the state of their economy. Sufat still with the Hunter's Fury. He got that up from planting the spike. I'm really in a great position to use it, however. Spam on the crazy guy. Cushy weak as well.
He's in on this side. Lysor leads. Nice recon bolt there from Cushy. But they are going to walk away here. 3-gun savers. The risk is far too great this late in the half.
The time has completely dwindled. They're just simply relying on the final round of this half to get to only 4 on Ascent defense. They have ultimates to contend with here. Real danger of a one-sided blowout half for Wolves.
Is that my boy Lysor on his feet?
Oh, Lysor can't wait to just stand up and look at the other team.
Is that guy at the end of
No arm movement, just simply standing up.
It's like the guy at the end of the flight who knows he's not getting out of the plane for a while but wants to stand up in the aisle still. Like, oh, I gotta stretch my legs, sorry. I hate that guy.
RRQ investing everything they can. They've got Guardian for Xfero. Wolves have done such a great job working the map, exploiting some over pushes from RRQ to get info. Jemkin wants to fight this in main. He has Monyet with him, grabbing that comes down. Paranoia should get some big value.
Almost punished for that timing, but Jemkin was positioned forward in wide. And then he dines on the attackers. Sufat at least able to punish him for it, but I mean, 3 kills. It's more than enough for RRQ to relieve the pressure of this round 12 that could have set them to 3-9.
That time just giving Mon yet a friend to help him in A main. A very simple trap setup, but incredibly effective as the Paranoia catches multiple players, isolates a second duel. And that re-swing comes in from Spring. Now listen, there were a couple players that I would trust to maybe come up in a clutch here. It would definitely be Sufat and YU right now. It's not out of the question. It's going to be incredibly difficult.
Sufat's definitely lost the element of surprise here and been revealed by that neural theft. Known to RRQ as lingering near A main.
30 seconds left.
Instead he'll try and find yet another opportunity. There's obviously neural theft here for YU. Should there be an appropriate corpse?
The recon goes into market, but won't really help. There's still a triple mid. Oh,
Spike down A.
He knew what was afoot. He knew what was coming.
And there's just no time left for Sufat. Pinged out as well. 12 seconds. This round is absolutely done. So
10 seconds
RRQ, at the very least, managed to get themselves to 4 before we move on to the second half. But this was all about Wolves. Sufat with that phenomenal clutch.
Switching
Juicy
sides.
finding the moments as well. Everybody was really getting involved there. Excellent start for the team that always remained the underdog.
Farming aura, farming kills. Can they find themselves in a winning position on Ascent? It's a great start for Wolves. We'll be back with more from our first map of the series right after this.
If RRQ can start off hot on this attack side, get things rolling.
A 67% attack round win rate for RRQ in Pacific. They really flipped the map out there. It's bizarre to watch, but a ton of fun. But are they warmed up? Missing the group stage. They do look a little bit shaky. Their stars are not firing outside of a couple of isolated occasions in the first half.
Now you're getting the information on main. Hit about to come in from RRQ. There's the dash in from Jemkin. Wants to get to switch. Door going to be closed. YU wins the first engagement.
YU's been on a heater this game. There's no other way to put it. And he's going to continue, apparently. Crazy guy hit right between the eyes. Monya is at least able to handle the Cypher. Cushy gives it a tap, but no stick. This is going to buy time for Lysor to group up here with Spring.
Lysor does have a grab net thrown out, but no connection. Monya on such low HP. At some point, they're going to have to get this spike down. Wolves are just going to bide their time until that moment actually comes in. No reason to rush.
Shock dart. Okay, Recon has just come back up for
30
Cushy.
seconds
That's
left.
probably the timing that they were waiting on. He's going to come up and attempt to plant. Lysor, Monya.
Last
Oh, he
player
gets off the
standing.
line. Oh, that hurts. Monya did too much to look at, and he'll be overwhelmed. Lysor. Lightning rod for criticism. Has his team behind him. Self-belief pumping. We got 3 players out of 6.
They're all on their feet.
We could have just gone
good.
standing desks and saved on budget, honestly.
YU wins a crucial first blood engagement against Jemkin.
Spike planted.
The rest of the team try to swing it together. Yeah, it does get down to this 2 versus 2 because somehow a very low HP Mon yet even things up with the trades, but it's just not enough. It left those last 2 players on such low health.
And it was the timing of Monyet just looking away off the direction of Speedway. Really just fate that dictated that, but man, that really hurts them there. And there's a sense of destiny about Wolves here to take a round like that. And they are going to continue this momentum they built in that first half. Defense side pistol 1. RRQ need to come up with something soon.
Can't imagine it's going to be on this round. It's just 5 classics. And again, I can't help but feel like we need to just harken back to yesterday with XLG making their debut in this same situation. Not playing hot with it coming into the game. Juicy tapping everybody down.
Will it blend? RRQ edition? The answer is yes. Crazy guy straight into Spring's line of sight. Or rather Cushy. Crazy guy himself now will have to try and salvage here, and really, this is one of those situations with an astronomically low % chance of success. Cypher util up the wazoo here on this B site. Crazy guy who Had to spend a lot of time in Tier 2 to sort of prove himself, but crazily experienced player.
He's been competing in TAC FPS games for over 10 years at this point. I remember him debuting as a Phenom substitute AWPer at a DreamHack tournament way back in 2015. Has had a redemption arc as of the last couple years. Qualified with Bleed.
Against
Juicy
Jemkin.
on that team against Jemkin. This game is pretty story-rich. The histories between these players, and then had those struggles with Bleed in that debut season in Pacific. Had to go back to Challengers, work his way back into the VCT, joins up with RRQ, and that's when his team has gone on a run. Their best placement historically had been a 5th, 6th, and then they win. They come in first. They beat Gen G and PaperX to do so. It's been an insane run for them, but now it's just a matter of holding their nerve on the stage when the pressure is raising further, when the consequences are higher, and the teams are showing out. This Wolves squad have come in just bringing everything they've got. Their players individually have been white hot all tournament long.
RRQ need to find a way to generate some momentum of their own. It's this buy round that really has to be the start of all that. Hey, they're pretty sizable grab net. Oh, juicy. The temptation, of course, I understand. A lot of guns trained on that corner direction.
It doesn't matter to play like that on a bonus round. If it connected onto Manya, that could have been a sick combo into multi-kill. They love this grab net pop flash play. Going to keep RRQ on their toes at any given time. That trap could be sprung. They pivoted all the way over towards this A side. Dark cover going to obscure the view from tree. Trips broken by Chalk as well. Scaling now into the cycle. Wolves, they want to commit, they want to anchor.
Ah, what you lit up, that is a perfect use of that recon util. Cushy going to capitalize on his own application of the recon in the middle of the smoke spring. Eventually will be pacified. Not before he takes his pound of flesh out of the game.
Sufal working his way through heaven, would love to accomplish getting
One
at
enemy
least
remaining.
a bit more damage, but it's not
Love
going
one
to
or two
happen.
more guns, Wyatt. But Lysol with the Ghost definitely put in the least advantageous position.
That being said, a kill would get him closer to that annihilation.
We only really saw one of them from Lysol and just missed clipping a player over towards tiles in that first half. Again, Lysol a huge part of, the engine room in terms of stall utility. Of course, that GravNet play that didn't quite go off the way they planned it. Lysol will bathe in the blast. We'll get on with our lives. Round at number 16 coming at you. And RRQ, with their first buy, maintain 4 Vandals.
Someone is B.
Oh, okay, little turn.
He just turned quick enough, saved his team
One enemy remaining.
potential demise.
That kill there is big. I mean, Sufat obviously trying to intervene. Caught on that rotate attempt. Hunter's Fury for Cushy here.
You have to keep your eyes on him in this round. Impressive to see him top fragging in this game as well. I mean, typically for this team, it is just Jemkin taking over at all times. The rest of the players sort of even statistical spread. There's some damage from Juicy Mon. Yeah, it brought very low. Lucky to be alive. Team almost lacking smokes.
Shadows.
That kill was collected.
Okay, well, classic spring. Tries to jump out there, get a bit of a fight. Juicy trades. Lysol here with only a Guardian to work with and completely caught by that Hunter's Fury. Xvero just wants to bust the door down now. Quickly assume control of his A side as already the rotates coming in. Now, Sealfat has the
I
Odin.
know exactly where you are.
Will be revealed here now by that Cypher ult.
Going to keep Wolves at bay right now. Perhaps he's just going to opt to save. Sufat would love to get a tag with this drone and someone to spam down with the Odin, but
Got Jemkin.
it's not going to happen. Recon, they're going to try to scale in. Time dwindling a
They
bit.
don't have the money for this. To risk these weapons here, they're going to go for it.
Standing.
Sealfat here is committed, clearly. In for a penny, in for a pound, he says. Got the player inside tree. It's Jemkin who's going to show some leg here and be a little quicker on the trigger finger to boot. RRQ are clambering desperately back into the map.
Couple good multiplayer faces at the end there, just to clean things up from main and back gen. Spring going for a questionably aggro play, swinging out there.
This presents himself, doesn't he?
Before the flash actually popped from Juicy, the timing just a little bit off. And then Juicy does find a moment to pop himself out of the smoke, but at that point, he's already down one. Things are getting traded out.
It is mistakes like that, that missed timing on the pop flash for Spring, that are going to be punished by a team of RRQ's caliber.
Cage trigger.
100%. They are quality in terms of the fundamentals, trading things out effectively. Nothing crazy on that round, just a good A split. Wolves hoping to catch someone unaware in A main, but that won't be the case. And it seems like with Monyet being near enough to hear that pressure coming, RRQ will be happy to just get into this B site, which they're going to imagine will be lighter on players, and they are absolutely correct. Going to get things for free. Opportunity to build towards a couple ultimates here. Crucially, Crazy Guy going to have the null command into the next. That has always been one of the highest value ults that you can get on this Ascent map with the age-old comp.
And the pattern that RRQ have made use of to their great success over in Pacific is really simple. It's Jemkin gets first kills. In their final series against Gen G, he was 26 for 12. First kills, first deaths.
Insane.
We mentioned like he has 137 of those in Pacific, and the next closest player is 85. It is an absurd outlier stat that RRQ always get Jemkin in position to succeed in these early rounds. Now, this example, of course, is against basically a full save, so I wouldn't write home about it, but that has been kind of the core of their play.
I'm sorry, Sufat? Sufat check?
That's, that did not go as he had planned.
Okay, he'll be on the Guardian.
I get that he doesn't want to give an ult off, but maybe...
he was a little bit too far away to run into the spike explosion.
It's like the plot of I Am
lucky?
Legend. He's like the only guy left after the fallout. That's not where you want to be.
All right, Wolves are going to pick up the Operator. It is crucial to the success of this double Sentinel comp. You want to be able to use that off with your Yoru and have it route the attacking team into the sites that are specifically littered with a ton of that Sentinel utility. It's crucial for this machine to be working. Pop flash coming through, Jemkin on the swing, but Juicy gets out of dodge, posts up on a safer angle.
Jemkin is insistent. While he has that tailwind active about trying to take a fight, he has to tuck this corner.
Sufat tries to timing him walking back out. Here, just spamming with that Guardian. High pillar penetration, pop flash from Juicy wants to get out. Recon as well to post up on the angle. I like this, but Jemkin might just timing him.
It's Jemkin's individual brilliance that's allowed him to succeed in these situations prior. Null command coming out. Crazy Guy instantly knocked. This time Spring on a much safer line, deep on the A side, flattens the KO. Somewhat of a sell of this fake, I guess, as RRQ now turn their eyes over towards the B side of the map. There's going to be a player to Jemkin's immediate right. Crossing here could be dangerous. Spring has dealt now with that KO properly. And in comes the Cocoon. Nice little catch off the Annihilation here. And Wolves aren't really in a great position to help Juicy out. And Jemkin got caught. Kochi pushes in a boathouse, though. Up on numbers are RRQ. But YU and Spring, high school classmates, now have to put it together. 5 years of play together. They themselves have said they are on the same wavelength. Need to bail Wolves out here.
They were just a little bit too far away in the rotate, but they catch the first on X-Pharaoh. Monyet is so weak. Real opportunity to clutch things out.
Revealed there, pinged out by the neural theft. Big opening made here by YU. Cushy trying to keep Wolves at bay, but they are coming, and they've got a taste for blood. Cushy's third of the round. What a flick from YU. Nobody knows where Cushy was. It doesn't matter. 4K for the Sova, and RRQ again. Another giant step towards evening up this game. That attack side prowess for RRQ on full display.
Cushy is just putting on a clinic on the Sova right now. So dangerous to get into the site. Lightsor was inevitably going to find someone with that Annihilation, playing defensively all the way in the back. But that still wasn't enough. Wolves were just too
He's a star player on this map.
It's going to be all sheriffs here for Wolves. The RRQ economy has been out of control. Push here towards main from Juicy. Xfero with his eyes on this location. And we've just been seeing on these rounds, it is the story with RRQ. They're not reinventing the game. They are playing a style that we have seen, going for executes that we have seen a million times over with this composition, but they just do it so well.
They don't invent the wheel, Wyatt, they just grease it and turn it.
Working my way up top mid, double face into YU, who's able to stay alive for now.
Flash there just to keep him honest, to keep him further back from potential rotate. Crazy Guy was able to extract Sufat with consummate ease, but Juicy
Spike down.
does disrupt
B.
things a little bit. That was the spike loose, but already recovered by Jemkin. Why you look for a timing out of this spawn side. Jemkin went to hunt Juicy. And RRQ looking absolutely ruthless on this anti-eco round. Not giving a lot of opportunities here for Wolves to sort of double up, group up, spring! Okay.
He heard the drop down. I'm surprised Xfero just kept the util out. He made sound.
Something to work with. With that smoke thrown out, Wolves will be allowed access here to the site.
And that is a gun recovered for Spring. He picks up that Vandal. Lysor gets one as well. Real opportunity all of a sudden.
Jemkin hoping to take this first contact effectively at Speedway, and Spring, unarmed as he is, will be handled. Jemkin has 3 for the round, and Crazy Guy will end it. Now we've got ourselves a game, folks. 1 round stands between RRQ and Wolves' 10-round total.
On their debut, this RRQ squad, they have managed to hold their nerve, not succumb to the fact that they were down by such a significant margin that they lose the second half pistol.
And we're clear.
Being on the big stage hasn't gotten to them. They've completely rallied back into this game. They have so much economic pressure on Wolves. RRQ can just buy every single round with ease. Juicy's going to pick up that operator again. Wasn't able to find success with it on the prior round. This time towards Cat, taking a hit towards Styles. Oh my God, Jemkin is in so fast right now. Controlling all the space, taking a lot of damage, and Sufat just catches him out. In the meantime, the spike is working its way up. Cat just hoping to get a fake into the site. Sonic Sensor destroyed by that shock dart. They're trying to scale in.
What a timing for Lysor!
Spike down.
Shuts RRQ down instantly. Monget can bail them out. But this has still now gotten very, very dangerous and very much out of hand. Crazy Guy's just walking away. Monget does not have that opportunity. He is in the side.
Spike planted.
Gets the plant down now and is hoping, praying the Crazy Guy can get there in time, but he's got a barrier in his way. He's got to break through this quickly.
He is able to do so. Has one flash to try to pop out of the smoke, give some assistance to Monyad, who's stuck in hell.
Crazy Guy taking a little bit of damage here through this dark cover down to 5. It's getting dangerous, and there it is. YU knows exactly what the KO is. And here come Wolves back to winning ways, and doing so while maintaining some very expensive weaponry here. Odin, Operator, still in hand for this team.
RRQ love to sell a fake, but this time it's not bought.
One
Sufat
enemy remaining.
with that initial spam kill. Players over on A didn't really need to rotate off. There was still a lot of utility from that deadlock to keep the players that were pivoting through tree at bay. That allows for some Wolves rotates to get there, but Lysor coming up with a huge 2K. Doesn't look insane on the scoreboard right now, but I think his best play actually has come from deadlock on Ascent versus the Omen on some of the other maps. This is fast from RRQ. They're getting right up into the main. They want to get into the site. A lot of tripwires to deal with. Jemkin over the top.
This time Sufat isn't here to spray anyone down to play off any of that Cypher util. It's YU in the site. Just can't complete any kills.
He thought he had it, already made the adjustment, but he just didn't connect that headshot. Maybe if Sufat can somehow pick up one kill here, a spam kill, he'd have the Hunter's Fury, but first is the one from Kush. He doesn't get the initial connection. There's the tag. Can he capitalize? No. Sufat just out of the way, narrowly. Do they try to go for this right now?
Might be a tough one. Monyet brought down. He was in B main. Spring is at least able to dig him out. So now there's not the risk of a backstab as Wolves try and hit the site.
They know they can just focus on the players here. Juicy wants to get down lane, peek from Xfero. He's undoing, but the shot goes wide.
Now though, RRQ have been forced to play onto the side, but Jemkin is waiting for them. Fangs bared, blades out, ready to throw down. Deals with Sufat as well. Headshot off the knives. and there's no more time for Wolves to get injured. Jemkin will pursue them.
No charges left.
Blood in his eyes. Even so much that he take the clone down and perish to the blast. Back and forth now, RRQ keep it 1 round.
Late on this attack side, Jemkin slow to start, but finding his moments, finding serious impact on the game. That kill towards stairs with the Blade Storm was sick, onto Spring, and then with the Cloud drops. Sufat not ready for the engagement, gets picked off. RRQ are so close to tying this game up. Just 1 round away. Can Wolves close things out? Juicy still with this operator. He was able to get away with his life. He wants to post up in B main.
Hannes Fury as well for Wolves. Oh, they catch one yet, and that's the controller out of the game.
In the meantime, what happened with Juicy? He tried to go for a peek in B main, or was just holding the angle, but
Just straight up died. Did he leg Xfero?
yeah, it looks like he, wall shot legged him something. Worked his way into the site.
This timing is
God,
quick.
there's no way.
Sufat, knife out.
The whip.
Xfero now needs to get busy on the site, but he knew his time was short after missing that engagement. B site is clear, but now it's handed over to A.
They feel like they just have to get in. RRQ null command. Jemkin wants to make space. Crazy guy out in the open.
Awkward timing. Jemkin got pinged just as he jumped into that cloud burst. Lysol did fall. Cushy trying to get the res. He's trying to tease it. Spring looking for a timing. Crazy guy's back in the game. At least secures the trade. Cushy now 1v2.
He does bait him out. He gets the door down. Wants to take the duel, but Sufat wins the engagement. Cushy does a great job of isolating the remaining Wolves players,
Match point.
making a believer out of me in the clutch potential, but he can't connect that last shot. What a prediction from Sufat.
Does he run into...
Hits him on the teleport? That was madness in main. Absolute madness. RRQ going to pivot right into a timeout. It's not their map pick, but it's at the top of their pool. They're making a serious go at running this back. The comeback feels so real. They're on the precipice. It's going to be a lot of pressure towards a main 0 point. Clearing things out.
Step 1 is play through the one-way. RRQ are happy to walk it, and there's no forward presence from Wolves to play off of it.
YU has moved his setup to this A side this time. Kill Trip Insight to play off. Cage to dance around when a hit comes in. Jemkin over the top gen.
Cushy's going to clear hell now. Jemkin is on the side. YU gets lit. Oh, that's hurting for the defenders. Sufat though gets involved. He's on that upper side. Eventually traded out. RRQ player advantage.
Juicy flash through, but dark cover down. Do they dare find a timing to try to just pop flash out of this when the spike is going down? Now Juicy has began to rotate towards tree.
This spot for Xfero is so good. Juicy's not ready for it. And that shuts down any chance of a split flood for the defenders. Spring found Jemkin, just picked him up out of nowhere, and Monyet spraying through the floorboards. Gets RRQ that round that could well be worth 2, that could send us into overtime.
Wolves perhaps feeling committed, or that they were just about to get flanked by Xfero, who just picked up Juicy towards tree, so they do swing out. They lose all of the weaponry. There's been some serious issues on these A hits, with Wolves being able to deal with the recon darts. Multiple rounds on these executes. It's been YU getting lit up, picked off by Jemkin, who can't help but increase his first kill stats at every turn. This buy for Wolves is horrific. RRQ, this is the perfect opportunity to rally this game all the way back. They've held their nerve. They can take this to OT.
And it starts with a 3-player push into mid. Wolves only have the token presence of the trap wire here. Jemkin is trying to figure out if he can get under it. I respect that. They had to clear it manually, and now this push through market. There's a belated approach for Xfero here in B main, and Juicy's definitely expecting him with the cyber cage up and on the side. Here come RRQ. Juicy's only got a short window. He's found 2-dimensional drift. He's going to see it all and crucially get out alive. Sufat locks it down on the side, and RRQ collapsing in a screaming heap. Sufat tries to finish the job, but there's the annihilation. Straight into the spider's lair. RRQ wonder, and it's Wolves' map pick. Do they start with a win on your... Need to recover. Some talk about the double controller style here for RRQ. They'd lack that second initiator with this setup. It will leave them a little flashlight potentially, and also no access to the wingman.
Those extra smokes are great when you're playing for retakes or when your Viper wall is down, allowing you to still obscure some of those dangerous angles. Speaking of dangerous wolves, all the way pushing out to B.
All right, ends up being a 2-for-2. Lifesaw able to double down. Ah, yes. A good old classic clash of forces at the start of the pistol. Silfat is fortunately not able to draw a bead on Xfero. So RRQ, the party comes to them.
That is Monyet nullifying all of that aggression. The three-piece multi-kill. Starting off hot here. Had some good moments, some rough moments on map 1. Was certainly playing aggressive though. You can't take that away from him.
I mean, talk about a redemption arc for Monyet. He was the scapegoat after that struggle for PRX in Madrid. He had to find his own way, forge his own path after his tenure with that team, and he's found himself right home here on RRQ.
And it's really taken a long time for RRQ to find their own way. Just slowly shifting pieces in their roster as 2024 went on, and then Crazy Guy really being the final piece of the puzzle for them that has taken them to this next level that they could never reach in the past. Jemkin going to get another first kill to open up this anti-eco. That is his specialty as the rest of the team slowly make their way back to yellow, and
wow, that might have been 2 taps, 2 headshots there, Wyatt.
Yeah, they were basically lined up. Okay,
Spike down B.
Trade that out, but that does just remove a ghost, so ultimately, doesn't matter.
Man, Wolves really want to fight these first couple rounds. Always sticking a player right up towards RRQ. Monyet is 5-1. Stunning stuff. Jemkin. That first kill he opens up, continues that trend.
Wait, that's pretty
That is
sick.
Absolutely raw.
Listen, Monyet is getting pretty close early to having a Viper's Pit for one of these post plants. He is feeling good. You cannot blame him. All right, RRQ, what do you have on this bonus? That basically feels like a full buy. They have 3 Vandals.
Revealing area.
Just your standard recon to get that close info towards the A orb side. So Jemkin patiently waits out any potential aggression, and we'll see how far Juicy wants to take this.
They've done their homework. Jemkin, pen in hand, showing that it will be mightier than the Vandal in this case. Juicy stripped down to a bare 57 points of health. He's out of there.
On the retreat with YU. We'll pivot away from Wolves, and hearing that 2-man retreat, RRQ feel very content to just take the space for free lightning fast trade from Monyet.
The lack of omen here for the defenders means they can't just throw that one way up a green again and slow this down. They lack that level of stall utility that RRQ has access to. Oh, Xfero gets the drop.
Oh, still ready for that push all the way through. We are going to get into a 3 versus 3 post plant. A lot of damage done to a couple of these RRQ players, however, and that's going to keep them at bay. They're going to want to rotate off. Oh, wow. Mysore not able to get fully on that, and as the cloud goes up so they can cross with some safety. The breaking of that turret is certainly going to give things away.
Monyet had a chance to get ahead of that timing, but could have been awkward. He would have been on his own.
It's a full commitment from Lysol, a very experienced player on this team. Time is dwindling so low. Pressure right now gets his.
Takes a shotgun to start with, but at least is able to find a 1-for-1. Dizzy out on the side. It's Jemkin. Vulnerable down to 47. Sees the wingman coming. And gets to see his breakfast the second time. 3 for Spring in that round. Wolves finally able to slow the game down enough to be in position.
They get there just in time to be able to play off of Lysor's decision to anchor in this situation with that Dizzy coming up top. Monyet forced to break. Perfect swing out timing from Spring. We're right back to the hype from Supat. Right back to it.
Got every reason. They're getting off to a decent start after dropping the pistol. Stopping that RRQ bonus is a big deal, and the fact that now we'll still have so many rifles to levy against RRQ's actual buy. But Monyet, with all of his early action, Wyatt has gotten that Viper's Pit online.
RRQ have taken some space towards this A side as they just have Monyet towards spawn. waiting out to see if there's any potential aggression, given Wolves showed a willingness to push hard through B main on that first pistol. Juicy tried it again. Drone's going to clear out these close angles near 410, allow Jemkin to slowly work into position. They want to wait this Viper's wall.
No anchor in movement. No one in the site here for the defenders. They're hoping to make use of that Gecko util, the Owl drone to get them here. And that Snakebite has effectively stopped the plant for the time being.
They are taking the time, or Wolf's going to try to flood when this recon. Dizzy comes through as well. Why you on the duel? Jemkin, first blood.
And that position, Jemkin knows he gets a straight up 1v1 if it's only an individual player at Boiler, but Spring picks him off eventually. Viper's pit in the post plant. No Gecko to clear this either.
Cover.
No lockdown to force the attackers out of it. That's all because Monyet got started so early.
No real utility at all for Wolves. It's going to come down to finding a timing in this pit, trying to root Monyet out.
Juicy assumes the position and Heaven side, but doesn't quite have the chance for making the shot. Crazy guy makes it count. Monyet inside the pit there with the shorty. And that's just a situation where Wolves don't really have anything to play into that pit. It's too early for the ultimates that could actually give them an edge there.
I think they missed the timing window that they needed to take, which was flooding back in when there was some initial stall. They stopped the spike being put down. There were 3 players in that dark cover Heaven. But YU takes that first duel. It was a little disjointed from everyone else. I would have liked to have seen them have gotten very proactive before the spike went down, before Monyet could have even gotten that pit off. Lacking that Gecko with the wingman is really tough in that situation, trying to get back in. It's resulted with Wolves being put to a very early eco here. Juicy again, just loving to push up B main, and that has kept Monyet in the spawn. Has to be patient, wait out any further push.
You can always play off that turret contact should there be a push elsewhere from Wolves, if it's up mid, for example. Slow around for RRQ. The regimentation of this team starting to shine through. There's no information really for Wolves about these movements on the map now. This, in theory, would draw someone like Juicy out. That's a toggle of their Viper ball. Juicy's starting to wonder what the purpose is. He knows. He knows RRQ are not going B. He knows it's a fake. Just push up pretty close with his pistol. Won't go well.
Went off that RRQ. No to accelerate. This is going to be a free plant. Cushy has the spike. Going to get the Hunter's Fury to have that for the next buy round. Things are looking good for RRQ. Would be shocked if they lose too many guns in this situation at all either.
I mean, the level of meticulous that RRQ have taken into this basically full anti-eco round is pretty astounding. They know how important it is to start to build that economic base, so they respect Wolves even on a round where they have basically nothing.
Not that I don't think RRQ would be playing particularly patient and going for some late round pivots anyhow, but it definitely does feel like that pistol round 4-man push from Wolves early on instilled the fear of God in them, and now they are waiting out the potential for a play like that again. And even what was it, round 2 or 3, Juicy just kind of ran it down B main.
Okay, crazy guy. I know we saw that. YU Sheriff will detain, and then he will perish to the blast. So Wolves really only popped up for air once so far, that first buy round. Outside of that, silenced somewhat, but it will be an op now in the hands of Juicy. Big investment made. Lockdown at the ready for the defenders, and now it's time to put their heads together. Think of how they're supposed to craft a winning recipe in this round.
One enemy remaining.
Cushy will definitely be saving that Hunter's Fury though if the lockdown is used. Just the natural, easy 1-for-1 ult counter could come up. Wolves and Wool wins. He's putting up sick numbers. Juicy doing the same. But we've seen countless times out of these timeouts that Wolves directly are able to win the subsequent round. Fate has done so much for this team. Let's see if it'll be the case here. Juicy is opting to actually push down mid with this op. Early drone being used by RRQ to take space.
But he smoked the defender side spawn, so this definitely keeps Wolves looking in that direction, and it is going to open a window for RRQ to probe the map elsewhere.
Trying to make them think that they're going for the iconic Jing play, but it's not going to happen. And even further is Jemkin trying to sell his presence on A. There are rotates being drawn over there, and now that's why you just be caught in the open. It's not even a trade. You can't find one.
Okay, that off for Juicy. Had to find some value this round, and so it does. There will still be a plant, though, as Monyet just disrespects the poison orb. Doesn't quite mind if he decays down. He gets his job done.
Maybe Jumpkin hoping to find a timing where he can get top two, pick up that angle. Now just going to rotate back to B main, meet up with the rest of the pack. Juicy pressuring back yellow. Here comes that Hunter's Fury. Has to take out the lockdown.
He knows where Xfero has to stand in theory in the back corner, but Xfero is able to win it out.
Player standing.
Unclear how he manages to pull that off. But either way, it's backbreaking for Wolves to suffer that double there. Lockdown committed by Lysor. No result for the defenders. RRQ looking dominant.
The most unique, cool thing about this RRQ team is how much they love to run fakes. And choosing to go for that pretty mental fake right out of the timeout just to throw a wrench in the works of the plans laid by Wolves, bringing the AWP into that round, completely disrupts their defensive setup. It's just so bizarre to have a fake Omen TP into a smoke in spawn, the Jemkin selling an A hit so they can get to B with only one defender there. It is a crazy round. It's just so cool to use that out of a timeout just as a massive disruption to whatever the intentions for Wolves were going to be.
And it's kind of conditioning as well. Because what happens next time Crazy Guy does that? Does he stick it? If he gets another ultimate on this half, I'll be very curious to see how he makes use of it. Mosh pit going to be drawn out of the defenders here on the B side. That's to stall RRQ, but they are in absolutely no hurry.
Here.
It is just this patented patience. Will Wolves walk into their waiting arms? A couple of players getting back yellow with these sheriffs in hand. Jumpkin is prepped and ready.
Going for it. Tailwind forward, wants to take the fight. Easily handles YU. Goes a little bit low.
Here.
This is more than enough for RRQ so far. Once again, respecting these anti-eco situations they're forced to play into. Able to shove Juicy off the line. The Blade Storm is awkwardly applied. Juicy can't get value when Jemkin knows he's going to be coming from the left anyway. What's happening here, Lysor?
30 seconds left.
Effortless play from RRQ. Jemkin just continuing to absolutely dominate in the first kill department. Sure, just an anti-eco,
Spike
but
planted.
he has been so consistent with that throughout this attack half so far. That is what he is known for.
Honestly, RRQ also more than happy to spend ultimates in these anti-eco scenarios. They don't care. They respect Wolves' capacity on rounds like this just as much as any other, apparently. Flawless round for RRQ. The stacks are piling up.
Probably shouldn't have been, but the economic damage would not have mattered in the slightest anyhow, so we'll give that one a pass.
Stunning
Late
stuff, yeah.
recon as well is just perfect for catching out the players who were
One enemy
having to path out of the way because of Jemkin dashing in there. No opportunity to turn and break the recon. All too easy, Wolves. Again, they want to invest into this operator. Big cash being spent. Juicy not able to find impact in the game yet. Not able to make his mark. Maybe it is now that Viper Wall temporarily will cover up the sight line. He wants to stay top yellow. He has a teammate to help.
Oh, there was an opportunity there. He lingered. That dark cover operating is like the Cascade would in these harbor comps, denying Juicy the ability to peek over the Viper Wall.
This time it is very straightforward from RRQ. Working to B main, get the lockdown off, get the free sight, Viper Wall up. Easy plant, play for the post plant, but a couple significant initiator ultimates that Wolves will have to make a real go at this retake.
The plan for YU. Okay, Juicy's able to pick Monyet off. Xfero's tucked here. Juicy suspects it, but he's been showing barrel this entire time. Subspan through the walls. In fact, gives himself away, but Xfero wants a bit more of it towards the snowman direction. This time, though, Wolves finding some success in his post plant. Ping on Crazy Guy now, and he's going to have to face the music. Eventually, Wolves going to come to collect. And already that defuse gets started. YU pushes on up. Good composure there for Wolves. They had to deal with the lockdown on that round. And they can recover the operator for use later.
RRQ just really wanted to fight forward and trench themselves in the site. The problem with doing that on Icebox is you just become susceptible to so many positions. I mean, look at Lysor seeing two players just walking up through orange there, and then when you're Xfero, you're awkwardly forced to take a duel with someone that could be in-spawned and this guy in Snowman. It's really overwhelming. I think they wanted to try and play forward and more aggressively against the fact that there could have been those ults coming through rather than just being forced all the way back and allowing Wolves to take the space. But difficult to play either situation regardless. That being said, it's resulted in Wolves not having to use a single ult yet.
No one for Wolves is in this kitchen or slope area. Now move up there from Spring. You kind of see there's something funky happening in mid.
Spring is mild. Oh, that
God!
Lethal shot onto Monia. That was
With a Phantom.
so fast. Just as he rounded that corner.
Was really just playing back into the map.
This is looking quite disastrous for RRQ. They're trying to now just slowly creep into this A site. Spring is hungry for more, but shot down by Jemkin. Opportunity to get in, but going to be difficult to plant, perhaps. These mollies going to keep them at bay. Wolves are not fully buying it. They haven't rotated too quickly over. So it's not like they can flood in or really pressure off of this plant. So RRQ have a fair shot here. Again, I keep repeating myself, but it's these ultimates from Wolves. This Thrash should be able to clear out anyone close, but my eyes are on xFaral. He wants to be the X Factor. He's working his way up mid on this flank.
Chillfat's watching for it though. I don't think xFaral has the timing here he was hoping for. There's a Thrash. Then there's a player on 410. They drop down. Jemkin in the site though. He's fighting for his life. White saw his headshot and Kuchi on the move up, catches out YU. Now we're down to 2 players for Wolves and they've got to make something happen. Hunter's Fury collects nothing. Tucked is Kuchi. Juicy from above descends on him. Shorty claims him. And now Jemkin doesn't have the line. He doesn't have a shot on the spike. Gets rid of Juicy, but Superfat is on there. And is able to just win it out. Time is on their side. 0.09 seconds. And Wolves get a crucial 3rd round.
0.09 is absolutely crazy. Coach Payne needed to
Just a wry smile.
so yeah, slight smile, take a sip. That looked doomed for Jemkin, given he was so far away. Oh my God. That's keeping Wolves in the half, but it's just not getting any easier. RRQ are so economically ahead. It's buy after buy after buy. Spring on this round is going to opt to just use that pit immediately, control towards this A side. Standard 1 thrown down. The hope for RRQ, if they want to get through it, is going to be using Cushy's drone. It's not going to be expended. And then you have Juicy controlling B main with the AWP. This is a good setup for Wolves right now. I like what they're doing in this early round.
The defense side, KJ turret location is really interesting. Watching out towards top mid, but Lysor is exploring that himself.
I mean, mid is really the only
good
part of
option
the map where Wolves have a bit of anxiety, and that's why they have rotated, a couple players. You do have Matt. Oh my God, dangerous. Swings into Jemkin. Never want to do that.
He has to take that risk because there's no turret to take contact of Tube, so you can't swing off that.
Right here.
He does actually send out the drone to re-clear Tube. Doesn't spot anyone. Doesn't see anyone going under Tube. Juicy will not have an opportunity to open this round up. Drone is not going to spot him.
This is dangerous. Very dangerous for Juicy. He is in the lion's den. And he's just having to get out somehow. Low is YU. Modnet runs into him. Here's a burst of pace from RRQ and Juicy in 8 health. Still is able to lock it down. It's Jemkin taken out of the game. Juicy knows he's going to get pushed around the corner and Kushik does finally fell him. RRQ have found the opening they need and Modnet has a timing from upper. It's on Lightsaw. Passively watching mid for much of the round. He's got a sixth sense about that mid push, but the timing doesn't favor him. He still wins it out. 16 points of health. And Lightsaw is in a 1 versus 1 against Cushy.
That is a brutal whiff. Does Cushy just want to swing out? Does he want to take a timing right now?
Lightsaw sees him coming. And unfortunately, he's not fast enough to stop him. 7 rounds here for RRQ. That one, though, very hard fought.
Got more dangerous than it should have ever been. Shots from Juicy were phenomenal. And how the hell did he get out when he was getting sprayed on that first escape attempt? That was a reality. So crazy. Wolves put back onto the eco. They've been losing so many players, even in the rounds that they've been winning. They just can't buy.
This is shaping up to be a heck of a half from RRQ. Shaky map 1, but your Pacific #1 seed now brimming with confidence on Icebox.
Hey, but that being said, it's not like we haven't seen a team get off to a big lead on Icebox attack, the side swap, and the team that gets onto attack go just as crazy. You can just run over these sites.
Spike planted.
Straightforward early plant. Cushy not bothered by the snake bites. Juicy has to get off that line basically instantly. Wayward Sharon shot, and Jemkin says, right, well, it's time for me to go to work. I have the sickle. You are the crops that I'm about to reap. Naturally on for the ace as Wolves do not want to feed another Blade Storm over to Jemkin. So they wait.
Enemy remaining.
Jemkin starts to close in, and they know it. Juicy says, no ace for you, I'm running at your teammate. Flawless though for RRQ against this anti-eco. Once again, respecting it and playing with a good burst of pace.
Taking a little note out of their Pacific Brethren's playbook with Karen and Texture. Just going to steal that ace away during Jemkin's debut. Hate to see that. Another first kill down. Just to add up to what is already a remarkable tally. Leicester won't be too upset about dying there, though. That's going to get him the lockdown for this final round. Wolves' final opportunity to get back on the board. Juicy, another operator investment.
Has enough to get full armor as well, so why not?
RRQ taking a lot of early space on A on account of that Jerome being used, hoping that the shock darts will clear out some of the mollies that have really been keeping RRQ at bay while executing. And those shock darts do just that.
There's enough time for Xpero to plant here and walk away with that lockdown intact. That's going to be destroyed. Monyet pushes up, gets rid of it. Viper Spit now going to be thrown out. This is going to deny Boiler away for the defenders for the time being.
Second lockdown as well is going to waste so much time for Wolves. You can see the benefit of having the Omen there. The fact that you could cover up that choke on screens. Monyet could run forward, deal with that. But now I'm looking at the double flank from Wolves. Aware. What is this teleport from Crazy Guy, man?
The deck stacked against Wolves here, but they're able to find a way in. Why use found his second? Cushy can't quite hold the line. It's going to be Spring who finds the trade. Now on the side of the Blade Storm, it's Juicy. He's looking for more, and I can't believe it. Deck might have been stacked against them, but Wolves draw a Joker. And that's all they need. 4 rounds on this defense side, not too shabby as RRQ has such an early lead.
They go for some mental plays in that post spot, which were dealt with handily by Wolves. Getting 4 on the board, hey, that's enough to win on the side swap for Icebox attack. Get that pistol, get rolling from there. They can make a serious go at it.
RRQ showing a little bit of their prowess though, going ahead 8-4 rounds in this first half of Icebox. Stick around, much more to come for this map and hopefully series.
You might have heard him going through a little upgrade.
Jumping into the pistol in the second half. RRQ lead Wolves 8 rounds to 4. Let's get it started.
RRQ pushing down just a bit to collect that orb on the A side. It's a patient Wolves working forward off this wall. Drone to clear out everything close. Have to be concerned that Jemkin could be tucked somewhere. Spotted out on pipes. Wolves, they want to accelerate, but there are 3 players from RRQ, and they're looking intentional with anchoring. They want to fight.
He got cleared. Here's Juicy though from Dice. Good little headshot to get him opened up. The Crazy Guy found 2. It doesn't matter. Wolves have the numbers to overwhelm RRQ with some great openers. Should be in a position now to stick the landing. It's on Monyet.
Just look at the death markers there. Everyone from RRQ wanted to flood in, but Wolves winning out the duels.
They never got a chance to really flood adequately off that rafter position. The pace from Wolves had them really still on the starter's mark when they had to fight.
The second that they got that info with the drone on 2 players, one bottom 410 and then Jemkin was pipes. I'm feeling like, hey, in this moment, positions are going to be scrambled. They're going to be trying to rotate around, get backside. We're going to get in there, just push right together. Everybody swing right together. Win out the duels. Lysor ready to just stand.
It's just unbelievably boostio coded. I'm actually here for every second of it.
Little movement, but a lot of standing. I like it. All right, Wolves. Intending on just going towards A again early. Cushy is happy to keep getting this orb for free.
Lysor takes a Guardian this time around. And you're right, Sufat was definitely a standout player for Wolves on that Ascent game. Somewhat quieter on Wolves' defense side but got involved in the action in that pistol. But Juicy really led the charge. He's got a Vandal. And up they come, inching over towards Pipes. Cushy shows a bit of leg, takes damage for it. They've got to know that Jemkin is here. They're checking for it, and the Jay's gone.
I mean, they are basically running the exact same setup as the pistol round there, except it was a little more active from Cushy, hoping to bait for Jemkin to get a kill at some point, but it's not going to come. Wolves going to slow down the pace. They have not been a team to rush things on these attack rounds.
Much more structured than we expected them to be coming in this tournament, especially in that online. Spherao's got snuck around on a timing. He's had to reveal himself there to take Lysor out of the game. Zufat is low.
Player standing.
Handles the killjoy.
Oh, and Juicy, nice final shot. Was worried about Sufat for a second there. Could have gotten picked off. Perhaps even that gun recovered. A little bit of damage done, but ultimately not too significant. Wolves are going to be able to bring in the important rifles here.
They're just checking for that spot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they have to, obviously. They
There's a
caught
gap.
Jemkin there before, just...
There's a dark cover that's getting there, but it's a little bit too early for that to bloom properly. So it's a 2-round game. Wolves with that pistol. Now the bonus, though. Some investment being made. It's an outlaw and a bit of an odd round for it, Wyatt.
I want to see how RRQ are going to opt to play with this Jemkin Cushy duo on A this time. It begins, as it has in the prior two, free orb being acquired for the Sova. Wolves would love for Juicy to find an opening pick. Just play slow around him.
It's got to be a headshot, though.
Why you spotted out. A little bit of damage.
He got softened up from that first engagement, so Juicy does get the one shot on him.
Up here, what's the move? Spring, Lysor, working mid. They activate that alarm bot, and then they just peel back. A minute on the clock. Wolves posted up outside of A, waiting for that dark cover to drop. Crazy Guy is going to be playing with a lot of one-ways, giving his team something to work off of.
He's pushing under some pressure now. Just flattened by Dizzy. Couldn't see a damn thing. Juicy's actually opted to take up the Guardian here. They'll be on this A side. Look how meticulous they are. Also, the push-up too might be illuminating for Lysor.
30 seconds left.
Just this team taking their time. RRQ want to get in there, letting the wingman get the spike down. Lysor just chilling on the bike, doesn't even need to
It's
make
for
that
free.
kill.
The turret's not there to see him out. There was no way Crazy Guy was going to be ready for that walk up mid. Is that do we count that as an A split? Maybe
No.
not. Maybe not.
Doesn't count, doesn't count. But I do like the round from Wolves.
What a bonus.
I mean, it starts off with this outlaw. You called it. Jemkin just takes a little bit of damage from YU, so he's one-shottable. After that, you have Spring and Lysor in mid. They trip that Killjoy utility, break it. Lysor bides his time. Spring goes back to the pack. Hit in with a 4-man swing into that A side. Lysor comes late. Nice little round that Wolves have played to convert this bonus. On the cusp of tying the game up. RRQ have Jemkin pushing a bit deeper than on those prior rounds up in Nest.
The plot armor on Wolves is pretty absurd. That play off the bonus working so beautifully. Coffers overflowing. Patient here. This approach is Aldrone likely to reveal, some positioning. Kuchi's down. Jemkin wants to stick around. It ends up being to his detriment also. Zufat
No more.
comfortably converts, and now RRQ, really don't have much to work with. They are run ragged on this A side. It's just Crazy Guy. Best he can hope for here is some kind of odd timing. Juicy is not going to give him an inch, baby.
This one is as good as done. Get another plant for that wingman while you're getting very close to the Thrash. Obviously, it's just easy to cycle that ultimate for the Gecko over and over. That's one of the major benefits of running the agent, that we don't see a whole lot of Gecko being played like we used to last year.
Toxin screen down.
Still effective enough on Icebox, one of the better initiators you can play for this map. One yet recovers that rifle, just going to save. RRQ having trouble so far with this slow style that Wolves love to play. It's even funny to hear them talking about wanting to increase the pace in some of these games in their press conferences. When it comes to the attack sides, they are often as patient as it gets.
And there you have it. Toronto, we have an even game. How are you feeling? That's what I like to hear. Wolves so unsteady, clawing these rounds back. Build up the pistol win. Now potentially threatening to drive this game away from RRQ. This would be a timely moment to call that timeout, get Coach Ewok in the ears of the Pacific #1 seed.
Wolves are just going to get an op in his hands, which is pretty unfortunate. I feel like at some point they're going to need to lean into that. It can't be now, however.
Something brewing though, over on the B side of the map. This is going to be checked for, and very quickly Dizzy is pacified. Wolves realize just how far up RRQ have pushed. But for how long can they afford to maintain that advanced footing on the defense side? Because now Wolves will go elsewhere. They will sniff out
Placing swarm grenade.
a route to the plant.
Lyso had thrown a deep alarm bot into B main, but it does get broken, as does this turret. So,
Means Cushy now can no longer get that free information in mid.
yeah, they want to be able to at least feign that they can pressure towards mid. Jemkin
Spike
doing
down
what he's been
A.
doing on these prior rounds.
Finally on the board in the second half. And as per usual, a first kill. He was 4-0 in the first half of Icebox.
That was a rapid trade, though, as this drone gets a lot of info deep in the A site. Intentions, of course, to just draw the attention of RRQ onto A, while the rest of the team just slowly, silently contact through main. One-way cloud going to drop.
They're almost guaranteed a plant here.
Yeah, now that the
30
wall
seconds left.
goes up, Crazy Guy has no opportunity to try to take an engagement from Snowman, but does eventually have to drop. 20 seconds now. Wants to swing out, but RRQ, they're just so spread across the map that it doesn't give anyone an opportunity to get too active. They have to go for a full retake. Cushy has the Hunter Sphere. That's the best tool that they've got available right now.
Going to help them clear yellow, potentially. They're already pinging over in that direction. Juicy in on the side. That's troublesome for Monyet. There it is. Okay, so Spring is picked up, and that also turns off the Viper Wall for later. Juicy now knows he's going to get multi-swung on this corner. It's getting a little bit close. Oh, no! It's a disaster for RRQ. And Cushy now just steps up to the side and knows he's virtually cooked here. Gets it to half. Has to fight for his life. One more tap and he'll have it. Sufat doesn't give him the full kit and caboodle, though. He won't give him an inch. Ice cold is Sufat. And he knows he has just delivered a back-breaking round win for Wolves.
He absolutely worked him. Just swinging out with the gun barrel is devious. Fair play to Cushy. He made a serious go at it. Wolves played that well, dividing themselves. Juicy running away, being the first to rush him. That is so sick.
Wolves are in the lead. What a massive round. RRQ, that was a buy and investment from them. Even the Hunter's Fury committed to the round. And now, Wolves with Viper's Pit and Thrash and Bladestorm. And a lead heading to round 18.
Jemkin has picked up that hero Vandal. Intentions of fighting all of RRQ here. They swing out together, but the weapons are good enough to shut down by Wolves.
Decent enough, I suppose, for a buy of this nature. Monyet giving him hell. Metallic Sparrow with only a Sheriff. And blinking, you'll miss it. Wolves charging to the lead. It's 10-8.
RRQ just lacking the utility required for some of these aggro plays. It's just coming down to having to straight up fight together, and they're at such a disadvantage there with just the one rifle. Player with a Sheriff, it's just not enough. Into this next round, I wanted to see this up at some point. Finally, the economy has gotten to a place where RRQ can actually purchase it, give it to Jemkin. This is going to have to be the crux of their success. To win a couple rounds in a row, get back in this half that has fallen completely out of their grasp. Try to win their map pick to take us to Lotus.
Wolves really trying to check every single corner here. They're definitely conditioned to Jemkin playing up close in Nest. And a player playing low from pipes.
Dizzy going to force him down to the low ground.
This is it.
They just, again, want to slow things down. Take this space towards A, then work into the exec. Drone does spot out Sufat. Good info to see the Sova there, and that's actually going to call a rotate from B. Look at Monyet, he's trying to get to A right now. The execute's coming through. Dizzy over the top.
Jemkin is forced back, finally off that line, has to drop low. Thrash could be a big problem for the Jet too.
I say execute's coming through. Wolves, they're content to just keep playing it slow. Wait for this Thrash. Here we go. Now it's on.
YU sees the Omen TP away, spots 2 players in. Rafter knows that's probably enough to be going on with. It's Juicy into Nest. Crazy Guy doesn't have a chance to get eyes on him now. Juicy appears out of nowhere in the low ground. And Jemkin was forced off the site with his op. Desperately trying to get this weapon in his hands. And he's put it to use against Spring, but he remains on the outside looking in. And now Juicy is not done! Cutting a bloody swap through all of RRQ, such that Monyet at 5 health. He's got no business even trying to win the round for his team. RRQ are going to drop a 3rd consecutive round.
Too scared to even attempt to go save that op with the low HP. Playing it safe, getting out with the rifle only. Jemkin gets 1, but it's too little too late when he does.
At this rate, Wolves are going to buy almost for the rest of the game.
No, the bank is absolutely outrageous for them.
Seconds left.
Spring going to have a Viper's Pit into this next round. You have Lysol 1 away from getting the lockdown. Juicy at some point, pretty low on the scoreboard for Wolves, and now the most kills in the server at 19. He is
For perhaps exactly that reason.
RRQ are just thrust into another tragic buy. Monyet with the hero rifle that he saved from that last round. Perhaps here, if they can get a cheeky kill, there will be an opportunity to commit the ultimates that they have. Cushy is getting close to that Hunter's Fury as well, just 1 orb away now. Jemkin is pushed up. He wants to take another first engagement, but it looks like he's just going to be flashed off this line by YU, and you're going to have Juicy swing out of this dark cover. Here it comes, forced to retreat.
Cloudburst gets him out, but Jemkin wants to linger. Knows that if a player pushed up and a weapon upgrade was offered to him, he'd gladly make use of it.
These lurks from Wolves have been getting so much impact as well. Spring has just picked his moments, really bided his time until the exact timing to spring the trap. Dizzy over top, it catches Cushy at 410, dangerous, but the dark cover will keep him protected, allow him to retreat.
Yeah, Juicy doesn't really want to test it, despite RRQ being on a weaker buy. Spring also could try and... Bro, what? The mosh pit for Crazy Guy! That is a devastating loss. Cushy now is going to start hunting for something. The clock is starting to bleed. Wolves are really slowing the pace down.
It feels desperate. They're letting
30 seconds left.
RRQ scramble, fear the oncoming hit, get into bad position. Sufat ready to swing. The lockdown is coming through. What a kill from Cushy.
Traded out. It's going to be a lockdown for the attack side as well. Both are going to be active. Wingman's going to go and try and get a plant down, and Spring tries to get involved from mid. Juicy is there!
One enemy remaining.
And it's on Monyet. Again, he's forced out of it. This time, though, he has got no choice. He's going to deliver some pure magic for RRQ.
That was absolute chaos with the double lockdown. The wingman getting broken. Monyet pressing forward. Duel against Nightstore. Dangerous to even offer him that opportunity.
Now they know. They know exactly where Monyet is. Over to the sky, there's an attack, but Juicy delivers yet again.
He has been lethal on this attack side, or running over RRQ.
Wolves with multiple opportunities now to close out the match. And Juicy's at 22 and 14. Lights out of the last few rounds. Viper's pit for a Wolves post plant. It's time for RRQ to pull out all the stops.
For all the hype that Jemkin has gotten coming into this tournament, Juicy is showing us who the real hot prospect coming out of Pacific is. He has been unreal. Crazy Guy forced back by the Dizzy, and it's Juicy over top again.
And it's on Jemkin. The first kill architect for RRQ, the star player, already silenced. Nothing's going right for this #1 squad from APAC.
And it seems like we're just going to go back to the same recipe for success from Wolves. They're slowing it down outside of A. Patience. Allow RRQ to make a mistake and then swing over the top. There's the Dizzy. Juicy kept at bay temporarily.
Good patience. Pinged down by the recon ball and doesn't want to try and push the issue, but Cushy's already out of the picture. Sufat is chilling on the nano swarm. Wants to get that space. Why are you coming forward and now it's getting a little bit sloppy? Monyet and Xfero, last two
One
standing.
enemy remaining.
And it's all on Xfero to keep RRQ in the upper bracket. They don't always hear Sufat down on a timing. This will have Lysor's head on a swivel though. Turret to play with. All of his util at his disposal. Can Xfero solve the puzzle? Around the corner, Lysor and Juicy doubled up. Juicy in a position to trade should Lysor get information on Xfero's spot. He's on the move! And RRQ trying to run with the Wolves. Left in their dust.